Three things make a nation. What are the three things which makes a nation? Thus, Article 51A commands the confidence of all the political parties and has remained on the statute book till today.
Dignitaries, esteemed guests, seniors, members of the bar and my colleagues. I request President of the Bar, Advocate Roshan Bagde sir, Secretary of the Bar, Advocate Manish Randive sir, to please come on to dais. I request Designated Senior Counsel, Advocate Firdos Murza sir, to please come on to dais. I request Advocate Padir sir to please come on to dais. The motive of the bar to conduct the lecture on the topic of fundamental duties under the Constitution of India is to revise the members about their responsibilities as the citizens and the significance of fundamental duties in maintaining a democratic society, and also to increase the understanding of constitutional rights and duties, fostering respect for the rule of law. We are very fortunate to have you all as we embark a journey of learning and enlightenment. Our aim of this lecture series is to provide a platform for thought-provoking discussion and insights of experts in various fields by exploring contemporary issues, innovative practices, and emerging trends. We seek to enhance participants' understanding and foster critical thinking. The series aims to inspire collaboration, stimulate intellectual curiosity, and empower the attendees to apply newfound knowledge in their academic and professional pursuits. For today's lecture, we are very fortunate to have amongst us a great personality, Honorable Shri Justice Prithviraj Chauhan sir, Judge, Bombay High Court, as an esteemed speaker to enlighten and guide us on the topic of fundamental duties under the Constitution of India. It is our honor to have you, sir. I cordially invite all the dignitaries on the dais to garland the portrait of late Advocate N.K. Deshpande, sir. My lord was born on 22nd February 1963 and completed schooling at various places as his father was doctor in Central Railway. My lord did BSc in Zoology from Shivaji University, Kolhapur in 1983. He worked as Development Officer in Life Insurance Corporation of India. My lord has obtained LLB degree from Nagpur University in the year of 1987 and started his practice in the office of late Honorable Justice B.U. Vahani in the High Court of Judicature Bombay, Bench at Nagpur, and as well as in the District Court Nagpur from 1987 till 1989. My lord was appointed as Assistant Public Prosecutor, Registrar of Joint Stock Companies, Sub-Registrar at Union Territories of DU in 1989, and also he was appointed as Civil Judge Junior Division and GMFC in June 1992 and posted at Yavatmal. My lord has promoted in the cadre of District Judge Amravati in the month of March 2002, and he has worked as Additional District and Session Judge at Amravati, Bhandara, Gangakhed and Basmat District of Parbhani. My lord has worked as a member of Motor Accident Claims Tribunal, Bombay from June 2008 to September 2009. My lord was appointed as a Registrar Vigilance, Finance and Budget, Protocol in the High Court, Bombay from 2009 to 2012. My lord was a judge of a City Civil and Sessions Court, Bombay from 1st of March 2012 to February 2014. My lord has dealt with several matters as a special judge under the Makoka, POTA and NIA Act. He has delivered a judgment as a special judge under the National Investigation Agency Act, wherein the accused were convicted for having found in possession of a fake Indian currency notes manufactured in the neighboring country. My Lord was appointed as a Chief Judge, Small Causes Court, Bombay, from Nagpur from February 2014 to February 2016.
Good evening to all. The District Bar Association Nagpur, the dignitaries on the dais, my friends, Advocate Dilip Danjode, Sriram Padir, Advocate Ghulam Mohammad, Mustafa Zahid Hussain, Shanti Bhai Patel. I am taking these names because they are all, we started our career together and we were students in the City Branch Law College then, when Baburao Upakhya N.K. Deshpande was our teacher, our mentor, our guide. I remember those days when it was my very first day at the college. Baburao called me and said, "Kai naw re tuja? Kuthun ala tu?" I said, "Yes, I am so and so, just come to Nagpur from Solapur where my father was in railways." He said, "Why you have joined law?" I said, "Just because I completed my BSc and then there was nothing. I had recently resigned as a medical representative from Alembic, where I had worked for a few days. Before that, I had worked as a medical representative in Lupin Laboratories. And because an untimely death of my father, we shifted from Solapur to Nagpur, which is my native place." He said, "Then you are not certain what you are going to do in the future." I said, "Sir, I don't know. This is my very first day." He said, "I think you will be a judge in the days to come." So I was surprised. I thought that this must be just praising me to continue my studies. I should not leave it in the midst. Because earlier even I don't know, today's generation is quite different. Now this 5 years law course is quite different than we used to have 3 years law. कुछ नहीं करना है तो law करो. That was the funda. So then there how our relations continued. Whenever then I practiced for some days, then I joined the Union Territory of Daman and Diu. Then I joined the judiciary. But whenever I used to come to Nagpur, I always made it a point to meet few of my mentors. One of them is the late N.K. Deshpande. So I'll greet you all, and first of all, I would like to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for having me invited today. I'm a part and parcel of this bar and this place rather. So without much ado, I will switch over to the topic which is assigned to me today. That is the fundamental duties under the Constitution, which is Article 51A. Friends, we talk about our fundamental rights. We are cautious about our rights. मेरा ये है, मुझे ये नहीं मिला, मुझे वो नहीं मिला, मैं वो ये वो. But what about our duties, which are rather more important than our fundamental rights? So, when the working of Part 4A of the Constitution, consisting of the sole article, namely Article 51A, dealing with fundamental duties of citizens, is taken up for review, certain crucial questions are bound to arise. The most crucial of all questions would be, has Article 51A served its purpose? And if not, where have the people who worked the provisions defaulted in the discharge of their democratic duties of citizenship and failed their fellow citizens? This is the question. There can be no two opinions about the need for the retention of the article in the Constitution, and equally there can be no dispute on the fact that the provision requires to be known and effectuated much better than what has been the case thus far. Three things make a nation. What are the three things which makes a nation? First is the noble ideals. Second is the citizens capable of achieving the noble ideals. And the third is striving for excellence by such citizens. Noble ideals are enshrined in clause A of the Article 51A. Rich heritage excellence are in clause F and J. In the word of the then great Rabindranath Tagore, our dream of free India was and is where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments of narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of the truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by the into ever widening thought and action into that heaven of freedom, my Father. I unquote. Before that, Tagore said, Rabindranath Tagore, let my country awake. Brothers and sisters, it's the time for each of us to introspect. Are we awake? Or are we within our shells, thinking about our own selves, our own near and dears and our family, rather than our society, our state, our city and our nation? Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation, had been dreaming independent India to be a place where would be no poverty, no disease, no ignorance, no depravity. What he said in his words, Ram Rajyaha, nahi daridra koi dukhi na dina, nahi koi abud na lachhat hina. These were the words of the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. This dream could materialize and shall materialize when every citizen solemnly resolves to discharge all his wisdom and might, the fundamental duties enshrined in Article 51A of the Constitution. The nation is what the citizens are. The citizen is a unit of the nation. God. This is also a portion quoted by the great man, merciful God, because a dark, deepening crisis is engulfing this beloved land of ours. Give us men a time like this demands. Honest men, men of strong minds, of his big hearts and true faith and ready hands, men whom the lust for power will not corrupt. Please pay attention. Men whom the spills of office will not buy. Men who possesses opinions and a will. Men for whom service to the nation will come before their selves. Men who will not lie. Men who will not indulge in gimmickry. Men who will not feed us on slogans or on stunts. Give us, O God, men of honor, of integrity, men who can and will stand up to demons of demagogy. Men who will not yield to treacherous flatterers, tall men, sun-crowned, men who live above the fog and fluff of mock adulation, in public duty and privileged thinking. God give us such men as a trying and testing time like this demands. It's difficult to understand, but if you think deeply, you will grasp the real meaning. Wherefrom will God give us such men? That is the now question. Our constitution says, Article 51A will make all the citizens of India such men. So if you want to have the qualities of all the things which I have written just now, which can only be achieved through the practice of Article 51A of the Constitution. Such men will achieve the noble ideals by striving for excellence, while also translating into daily life the fundamental duties enshrined in clauses B to I of Article 51A. The future of India lies in acting, implementing and invigorating compliance with fundamental duties enshrined in Article 51A of the Constitution. Now let us see a bit historical background as to how this article came to be introduced in the Constitution. To achieve the above objective, a brief historical background leading to the inclusion of Article 51A in the Constitution of India needs to be set out. The Swarn Singh Committee, appointed by the Congress Party for a review of the Constitution, had recommended that certain fundamental duties and obligations which every citizen owed the nation should be included in the Constitution. These recommendations were implemented with the incorporation of the new Article 51A in the Constitution. Incidentally, this happened during the period of emergency aberration. This happened during the period of emergency aberration during our democracy. Alongside the introduction of this article, several other articles of the Constitution were also amended. Some of the amendments had the effect of crippling the powers of the High Court and the Supreme Court. Soon after the emergency ended and a new government assumed office in 1977, the Constitution 44th Amendment, Act 1978, was passed, whereby many of the amendments brought in by the 42nd Amendment were undone. What is significant to note is that 44th Amendment did not disturb these provisions. Thus, Article 51A commands the confidence of all the political parties and has remained on the statute book till today. There appear to be good reasons why the authors of the Constitution did not feel the need of enacting the fundamental duties in the Constitution as given to us. Firstly, the framers of the Indian Constitution were such visionaries as had practiced values in life, discharging their social and national obligations, and had followed noble ideals which had inspired our national struggle for freedom and the need to defend the country, promote harmony, secularism, and preserve the rich heritage of the composite Indian culture. To the framers of the Constitution, these were the basic and inherent values which were being practiced by each and everyone. These were first nurtured in the home traditionally and were subsequently supplemented by education in schools and colleges. These were integral part of the way of life in India, and it was taken for granted that aberrations in the practice of these will not be acceptable to the society. As such, no need was felt to incorporate the fundamental duties specifically in the Constitution. Secondly, the duties were spelled out by the preamble to the Constitution, which contains the ideals and aspirations of the people of this country and dedication of Constitution for fulfilling such ideals and aspirations. We have solemnly resolved to secure all the citizens of India justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. Whatever is needed to achieve these goals is our obvious duty to perform is a dictate of the preamble. But again, I would say it's a time to introspect. How many of us really read the preamble time and again to see whether we have been really putting it in our day-to-day life? Thirdly, all the rights enshrined in Part 3 on the fundamental rights have inbuilt obligations therein. The need is to read them so as to spell out and understand the duties flowing therefrom. Mr. Justice R.C. Lahoti, in his Rastogi Memorial Lectures, said, and I quote, "With the lapse of time, degradation of values, particularly values in public life, became blatantly evident, and the nation felt the need to amend the Constitution and incorporate these values specifically as the fundamental duties of every citizen." Article 51A, which constitutes Part 4A of the Constitution, reads as under. Everybody know, but I'll just read it. "It shall be the duty of every citizen of India, A, to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem, what we call our Rashtrageet. B, to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom that we have forgotten. To uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. To defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so. E, to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, transcending religious, linguistic and regional or sectional diversities. To renounce practice derogatory to the dignity of women. F, to value and preserve rich heritage of our composite culture. And G, to protect and improve the natural environment including forests, lakes, rivers, wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. I am just going to say a few words about improvement of natural environment, forests, lakes and rivers. We have in our city the great Nag Nadi. Once upon a time it was a pride of Nagpur. But now we call it Chamar Nala, we call it Canal Nala, we call it whatever names you give. And can we even think that we'll take a cup when I am thirsty, we'll go and have a mouthful of water from Nag Nadi? Who is responsible? Is it not our duty of all the citizens of Nagpur to ensure? Only today I read the newspaper, there was an article in the Times of India, Hitwada, that now the government has earmarked some 1,572 crores for cleaning the Nag River. Nag River Pollution Abatement Project. It's a project of 1,927 crores and would be completed within a span of 8 years. I appeal my junior brothers and lawyers here. It's not only the duty of the government to see that this Nag Nadi is clear. Some of you can be the torch bearer and follow, pursue and see whether this goal is met within time. Having earmarked this much amount by the central and state government, if you want to really have our fundamental duties performed, this is the opportunity which everybody of you have, because you are the torch bearer, you are the persons who fought for the independence of this country. There were no doctors and engineers who were responsible for achieving the independence. They were all barristers, they were all lawyers. So now we don't see that instinct and that killing spirit amongst the new generations. So please think on it and see what can we do in that regard. Then the next one is to safeguard public property and abjure violence. J, to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity so that nation constantly rises to higher levels of endeavor and achievement. This article has the potential to regenerate and reconstruct the nation. It has been on the statute book for the last so many years. It commands that it shall be the duty of every citizen of India, me, they, all of us. But it is an irony that more from 99% of the citizens of India do not even know about the existence of this article in the Constitution, much less its provisions. The awakening letter of Mr. Justice Ranganath Mishra, former Chief Justice of India, addressed to the Honorable Chief Justice of India, who took cognizance of it, was registered as a writ petition, wherein it has been said, and I quote, "All of us are experiencing to our horror degrading human behavior in society every day. The deterioration is gradually becoming sharper, and unless this fall is immediately arrested and a remedial measure found out and enforced, the situation would not improve. Fundamental duties have remained in the Constitution book and have not come out to reach even the class of the people who handle the Constitution." This is for us. If society becomes duty-based, everyone in India should turn attention on performance of duties and through such performance ensure and be entitled to the rights of a citizen. As a nation building measure, teaching fundamental duties in every educational institution and as a measure of in-service training everywhere was necessary, as this cannot be inculcated in our citizens unless they are brought into their minds and living process through teaching and education. It is the obligation of the state to educate the citizens in the matter of fundamental duties so that a high balance between right and duties may emerge. There has been some rather disproportionate emphasis on the rights of the citizen, which I initially said. We are emphasizing more on our rights rather than duties. Rights of the citizen as against their duties, even though the traditions and temper of India thought through the ages laid greater emphasis on duties. Actually, rights and duties are the two sides of the same coin. For every right, there is a corresponding duty. Rights flow only from duties well performed. Duty is an inalienable part of right. What is duty for one is another person's right. And respect human life and not to injure another person. If everyone performs his or her duty, everybody's right would be automatically protected. Gandhiji, while emphasizing the economic and social responsibilities of all the citizens, said, and I quote, "The true source of right is duty. If we all discharge our duties, rights will not be far to seek. If leaving duties unperformed, we run after rights, they will escape us like will o' the wisp. The more we pursue them, the farther they will fly." He further said, "I learned from my illiterate but wise mother that all rights to be deserved and preserved come from my duty well done. Thus, the very right to live accrues to us when we do the duty of citizenship of the world." From this one fundamental statement, perhaps it is easy enough to define duties of man and woman and correlate every right to some corresponding duty to be first performed. Every other right can be shown to be usurpation hardly worth fighting for. Harold Lasky has also said that rights are related to functions and are given only in return for some duties to be performed. Rights are conferred on individual citizens not only for their own development but also for social good. As the Universal Declaration of Human Rights put it, I quote, "Everyone has duties to the community in which alone the free and full development of personality is possible." Unquote. When the leaders and the rulers talk of citizenship values, please pay attention. When the rulers and leaders talk of citizenship values, they tend to talk in the language of you the people should. They forget they are not outside the people. They are also first and foremost the citizens of India, and it is as much for them as for others to respect the citizenship values. In fact, in the discharge of their functional responsibilities and duties, they have an additional responsibility to protect and promote citizenship duties and fulfill the oaths they take. Ideally, a proper balance and harmony can be achieved if the state, high functionaries of the government, and the leadership generally ceases to lecture the citizens on their duties and devote their energies and attention to protecting their rights, and the citizens themselves lay greater emphasis on discharging their responsibilities and duties instead of all the time demanding fulfillment of their rights. It would be essential to refer to just two important case laws, and then I will conclude on fundamental duties covered under Article 51A of the Constitution of India. In case of Bijoy Emmanuel versus State of Kerala, 1986 Supreme Court cases 615, which is popularly known as the National Anthem case. On refusal to sing National Anthem in the school, 3 children of the Johan's witnesses were expelled from the school. There was a circular that was issued by the Director of Instructions, Kerala, which made it compulsory for the school students to sing the National Anthem. These 3 children did not join the singing of the National Anthem, but they stood up out of respect. They did not sing the National Anthem because their religious faith did not permit it and it was against their religious faith. They were expelled on the ground that they violated their fundamental duties and committed an offense under the Prevention of Insult to the National Honours Act 1971. The Supreme Court reversed this decision of the High Court of Kerala because they did not commit any offense and also they committed no crime under the Prevention of Insult to the National Honours Act 1971, as though they did not sing the National Anthem but they stood out of respect. Another judgment of the Supreme Court in the case of MC Mehta is a well-known judgment. Everybody knows about this landmark judgment of the Supreme Court versus Union of India, AR 1998, Supreme Court 2963. The Supreme Court held that it is compulsory for all the educational institutions to organize a teaching lesson of at least 1 hour a week on the protection and improvement of the natural environment. And it is the duty of the central government under Article 51A into bracket small g to introduce this in all the educational institutes. The central government should also distribute books free of cost on the same subject in all the institutes and also raise consciousness amongst people towards clean environment. The government should organize Keep the City Clean Week at least once in a year. I would like to emphasize upon the members of this esteemed bar once again to inculcate and to follow these principles enshrined in the chapter under the fundamental duties in its real letters and spirit. As I already said, that there are ample opportunities for each of us to ensure that we perform our fundamental duties a bit. I don't say that you can start at once on a very big this thing with a much fanfare, but at least you can begin with. Well begin, we say well begin is half done. So before I conclude, I am reminded of one very old famous शेर, मैं अकेला ही चला था जानिबे ए मंजिल मगर लोग साथ आते गए और कारवां बनता गया. Thank you very much for giving me this patient hearing. Again, thanks the office bearer of the District Bar Association, my Bar Association rather. I thanks Senior Counsel Mr. Mirza, my friends, Right from my law college days, Mr. Mahendra Bhadusaji Durukar, Shanti Bhai Patel and all my brothers and sisters. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best.
For your insightful lecture on fundamental duties. Your expertise and passion for the subject deeply resonated with our audience. We appreciate the valuable perspective you shared and the thought-provoking discovery of you initiated. Your contribution has undoubtedly and inspired to us to reflect our responsibilities as a citizens and also as a professionals. Thank you once again, sir, for taking the time and to share your knowledge with us. Now, I request Advocate Usha Guzar Madam to felicitate Advocate Padhir sir.
I, Advocate Saurabh Poddar, Executive Member on behalf of entire team of District Bar Association Nagpur, express my special thanks to our Chief Guest and key speaker, my Lord Justice Sri Prithviraj Chauhan, Judge, Bombay High Court. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to my Lord for accepting our invitation. Your thoughts have truly inspired us, sir. I express my sincere thanks to Senior Advocate Shri Firdos Mirza sir for being always generous with his time whenever legal fraternity needs him. I express my sincere thanks to all the honorable judicial officers for supporting and guiding us. I express my sincere thanks to Advocate Sriram Padhi sir for gracing this occasion with their presence. Learning is always a good opportunity to feed our minds, as it helps us grow. Through such informative seminars, we get a chance to boost our knowledge with a unique opportunity to dive into a field of subject that might be unfamiliar to us. So I would like to take my time in thanking our dear audience who not only took their time out to be a part of us, but also cheered and motivated us to keep moving. Thank you again to all the respected chief guests and speaker, honorable judges, respected members of the bar, entire DV team and our staff members and my dear audience. It was because of everyone's hard work that this event was possible. Thank you so much. Thank you.